Good morning. Welcome back to Ashley's Homestead Adventures, and this is an Arkansas farm tour. I'm first going to show you some new additions to the gondola. And let you know some plans for it. First is some patio chairs, and I got a new flag holder to keep our beautiful American flag flying in the wind. My grandmother's glass tables have made it, so we have kind of a bar situation there and a gathering table that I can serve platters and snacks or even lunch or something on. And welcome to the front porch, where wasting time is time well wasted. And I'm sure you've seen in the background the market garden. So we're going to take a little walk around. So we'll start right here. I got my wheelbarrow planted up, and I just put lantana and rose moss and Silver Falls dichondra in it. Kind of, you know, your lantana is your wow factor. The moss rose is gonna, you know, kind of fill it in. And then my trailing is the Silver Falls dichondra. We'll go over here to this garden. Our garlic is doing beautifully. Getting big already. And all of the onions and our strawberries. We do have some columbine coming up. Let's see. And more onions. So the bed's starting to look greener, which is kind of cool. And here, this sweet little guy, is our banana bell pepper. These are starts. I bought these as starts to compare them to the ones that I started in the experimental market garden from seed. And then in the background there is the poblano. And you guys, we have babies! Look! Get that little lettuce baby. There's another one. Next to the weed. Not sure what that is. Doesn't need to be here. That is... oh, it's mustard greens. It is the Japanese giant red mustard. So that's exciting. The Better Boy is getting quite large. And Mr. Stripey's still a little behind, but coming. And I just picked... hold on, let me walk around here. I just picked all the blooms off this guy. This is the little Napoli. And you guys, one of the things that you want to do when your tomatoes are little is go ahead and take their first buds off, because they need to be putting energy into getting big, not into producing fruit right now. But as you can see, I'm a little late. So we have maters. And these are the chocolate sprinkles. It's getting quite large. So we'll be needing to tie them up here soon. Nothing from any of our other lettuce. All of our other lettuce we're still waiting on. So we got lettuce, mustard greens, spinach. There's some aoric in there. There's some katsuma. And then we have celery. And then I also went ahead and put, there are Blue Lake bush beans in this row, and top crop bush beans in this row, and artichokes the rest of the bed. So the orchard is looking beautiful. Everything's starting to leaf out. And that is really exciting. I went through and pruned everybody the best of my ability. The Japanese laurel is putting on new growth and looking really good. That one is as well. The fig is coming. There's still life to it. I trimmed all of the dead off of the fig, but it's coming. But a little slow to come out, and it did look like I'm going to have to look up what the redness on the tips means. If that's just new growth and it, blooms off of old growth. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to have to research that. And that is the brown turkey fig. And we have these trees all wrapped in fencing to keep the deer off of them. That's why they're all wrapped up in fencing. So not much really changed in the front yard. And I promise you guys, I mowed this a week ago. There is a new person to the party here. I don't know what this is, and I will have to research that. It does look like it was intentionally put there. So I'll have to research that, and then also the vine. I'm going to have to research what that is and see if they are going to stay or if they are going to go. That looks a little bit like an azalea, but all the azaleas at the nursery are in bloom, so I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. Working our way over to the fence line here. We have fall gold raspberries. 2 of them. And these are another one of my big box store, I can't help it, I have to buy a plant purchases. These are from Tractor Supply. And they look pretty puny, but from what I've heard, put anything, any cane of any, berry bush in the ground and you will have berries. So that's what I did. The blueberries are in their new spot. And, oh, excuse my shadow here. The blueberries are doing very good in their new spot. I cannot believe how many blooms are on these blueberries. We had a little bit of struggle with spider mites, but I blasted them off with the hose, and then I went ahead and treated with neem oil. And I have not seen any since. So look at these blooms. They're precious. And then look at that. They're just loaded. Now, I did not prune these off. I did prune these plants, but I did not prune them off. They're fruit. This year, I'm not sure if I was supposed to. I probably was. But I just, being a first-time blueberry grower, I was just nervous about hacking the whole plant down. So, and this one, so weird. There's no blooms. It has done the right thing. It has focused on getting bigger and putting on foliage and not putting on blueberries. So the potatoes are in these 2 tubs. No show from them yet, but they are planted. And for reference, that's each side of the driveway. The market garden is complete. To show you this new guy. I think I'm going to call him Huey. He's pretty cute. So, much time was spent in this market garden. Experimental, neglected market garden is what we're calling it. There's 6 rows. You're gonna see 8 rows total because there's 2 half rows that I couldn't, like right here on the first row where the tomatoes are, that I couldn't fit all the tomatoes on one side, so I did come down the other side. There is 19 varieties of tomatoes. I did do a video on the tomatoes showing pictures, but I can give you the names of what we have. So in the tomato row we have Jubilee, Big Red, Jelly Bean Hybrid, Large Red Cherry, Black Cherry, Chef's Choice, Culinary Blend, Better Boy Hybrid, which we have a Better Boy in the backyard garden also that you've seen, the big one. Boxcar Willie, Brandywine, Rainbow Blend, Tricolors Cherry, Marglobe, Roma VF, Celebration Hybrid, Rutgers, Beefsteak, Beef Master, and Oregon Spring. In the next row, which would be right here, we have eggplants, Casper, Black Beauty, Black Moon Hybrid, and Early Long Purple. And then at the end we have two different kinds of tomatillos. Excuse me, at the end we only have one different kind of tomatillos, purple tomatillos. So there's only like 6 plants down there. On the next row, which is this one, these are all peppers on this side and on this side. We have Hungarian Wax, Sweet Banana, Anaheim, Chinese Giant, Cayenne Long, Poblano, Garden Leader, Jalapeno, Cascabella, Tabasco, Cuadrado, Asti Rosso, Habanada, Grand Bell, Serrano, Pretty and Sweet, California Wonder, Nadapeño, and Mini Bell. On the next row, we have, these are Okras and Corn. So starting from the beginning, we have Clemson Spineless Okra, and then Emerald Okra. And then down at the end we have Silver Queen Corn and Peaches and Cream Corn. Both corn are sweet varieties. On the next trellis, and these trellises, you guys, I did the best I could. This was my first time building a market garden, and I was working with used fence that we found in the barn here, and so there are places where it looks a little janky, but I think it will work. So in this next row are all cucumbers. We have Mexican Sour Gherkin, Muncher, Poinsett 76, Space Master Bush, which won't need a trellis, but it's on one, Spring Burpless, White Wonder, Boston Pickling, Market More 70, Cross Country Hybrid, Slicer, Homemade Pickles, National Pickling, Wisconsin 58, and Straight 8. And then on the very last row here are my peas, and half of the row is Little Marble, and the other half of the row is Sugar Snap. So, and something that I learned about, which I guess I kind of knew in the back of my head, but I didn't really think very far into it when I saw these daffodils. But here at the front of my property, there are daffodils. And usually that means that there was a homestead here back in the old days. So that was kind of cool to know. The tulips have bloomed and they're done now, but I'm leaving them for the most part. I thought about digging them up, and then I thought my worry was that it was, like a memorial, like a gravesite for an animal. Like this was, maybe somebody's pet cemetery. The other option is that a house actually used to sit here, a homestead back in the olden days, and this was their front yard. This was their their flower garden. But they're beautiful, and I couldn't bear to dig them up in case they were here to remember somebody or something. And I got to thinking about how important that would be to that someone that buried their childhood dog, or whatever the case may be. And I thought, who do I think I am to dig that up? And so I left them. So one thing I wanted to show you guys, not much has changed out in the barn, of course, and really not much changed in the house this time. I struggled with the spare bedroom mattress a little bit, and did some unpacking, but there wasn't really much change inside the house. I really kind of focused on just getting this place mowed, and weedy whacked and cleaned up, and putting the market garden in. So, but I did discover something last night when I was over here mowing down next to the pond area. And there is quite a bit of garbage down here. That, whether it was left here or whether it blew here, whatever the case may be, but you're going to notice that there's some trash laying around, and I need to get that picked up. It's just going to take a while to get the entire property cleaned up, and that's okay. But if you're wondering what some of those white things, or if you think you see trash, you probably do. The wind blows like crazy here sometimes, and I imagine a lot of trash just blows in here, but we've never been down here. But this is what they attempted to make a pond. This is where all the water drains to on the property. And obviously they failed because it's not a pond, but it does give a place for all the water to go and then drain out of the property, and it runs down a ravine on our fence line and across the road, and then down into a farmer's pond down there. So that's okay. And if in the future we decide we want to make a pond, this would probably be where we do it. We kind of just call it the big hole. It's so beautiful over here, you guys. I mean, look at that. So, and you all know that I love nature. I love to feed my birds and my hummingbirds, and I love to watch the deer, but I don't know what this is. I'm excited to find out. But I don't want to get too close because I don't know if they have badgers here. But I do know that badgers are known to be kind of aggressive. But there is a den right on the fence line. It belongs to something, and it is fresh. It appears to be relatively new. So it'll be interesting to watch that and see what develops out of there. And this is way out, you know, it's in our back pasture, you guys. So this is all going to be animal property. There won't be any gardens. The garden is way up there on the hill. So I do not mind having critters out here, making their home if they leave my animals alone, and they're just part of the ecosystem of the farm, then I'm totally cool with that. I'm excited to learn what that belongs to. Not really much else has changed on the farm. I keep getting footage of my storm shelter and I keep losing it. So we're going to try again. I'm going to show you the storm shelter here. Oh, no, I'm not. It would appear that the storm shelter is full of water. So I'll have to address that, see if it's got a drain. We have had about 9 inches, about 9 inches of rain in the last 2 weeks. So anyway, there is the storm shelter. There's our big down oak tree. Let's see. Oh, I almost forgot to show you. We did herbs in a video. You may have already watched it, but in case you haven't, here are all of our herbs. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Oh no. I do not know what you are. But you are not welcome. I do not know what you are, but you may not stay. No, sir. So we have basil, oregano, parsley, chives, sage, lemon balm, dill, cilantro, thyme, anise hyssop, catnip, and chamomile. The raised beds are coming, you guys. We're still trying to get them filled. So there you have it. There is the Arkansas farm tour and all the work that has been completed, and as you can see, all of the work to be completed. Always something to do on a farm, right? And I love it. I love every minute of it, and I'm excited that you guys are joining in on the adventure with me. I hope you enjoyed this walk around my farm. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Yours truly.